Good morning, South Rock. Welcome to another Mark Devo. Today is chapter 7, verse 1 through 13. It's one of my favorite teachings of Jesus. It's really fun what he does here to the Pharisees, honestly. So the Pharisees point out to Jesus that his disciples aren't following a tradition, which is to wash your hands in a ceremonious way before you eat, and therefore you don't defile yourself. This was not law, this was a tradition. This is what some rabbi, some teacher had put down long ago, and they followed it. And so the Pharisees say, why are your disciples not following tradition and making and defiling themselves? And Jesus basically says, why are you so worried? Why are you so worried about the traditions of man and not the commandments of God? Which is a big swing to the teachers of the law, which are who the Pharisees are. And so he basically says, you're worried about what some guy said a long time ago. You should be worried about what God said to you. And so then he continues and he gives them an example of, the law says honor your father and mother, but there was a loophole in the teachings that said, if you kind of tell your parents this certain phrase and you say, all that I have is to God now, you don't have to listen to your mom and dad anymore. You don't have to honor them. And it was a way around the law. And Jesus said, you're doing this all the time. Why are you worried about my disciples when you're the ones doing it? And I just really like that. It's really fun. Jesus is always great at turning a phrase, but also pointing back what the Pharisees were doing wrong back at them. And so I think that's where I get this question. I only have one question because it's a toughie, I think. What is something in your life that has become tradition? That can be a hard one. That's basically asking, what's something in your life that you're following because you think it's right, but you don't necessarily, you've kind of lost sight of the origins of it, the root of it, or even the God in it. It could be a lot of things. There could be a lot of things that we do that we think, well, I just always have done this without thinking it through. For some of us, it could be like going to church, right? I think going to church is good and important, but sometimes we can really just get stuck in the going through the motions of it. Even now that we're stuck at home, if some of you are still worshiping at home, you might have gotten into a rhythm and you don't really think about worship anymore. And that's devastating. That's basically what Jesus was saying is you're going through the motions. You're not actually letting the word of God take root in your life. For some of you, maybe it's your Devo time in the morning. Maybe it's how you parent. Maybe it's how you act around your wife or your husband or even your friends. There can be all sorts of things that we just start going through the motions on without considering the God of it all, without considering what Jesus might have to say about these things, even something as big as worship. So today I want you to pray and think about, is there something in my life that has become tradition that I've effectively cut God out of inadvertently because of just going through the motions? Or maybe you did it on purpose, I don't know. But either way, that's something to think about and pray about today based on what Jesus told the Pharisees. So hope you have a good rest of your day.